What up, world? It's your boy Mark Walter Ward. Matter of fact, on the spot, I'm gonna change the name of this shit. It's gonna be the Mark Walter Ward Show on from here on out. And my first guest is gonna be G Mims. Don't forget the $.
Don't forget the dollar. What up, man? What's up, Mark? How you feeling today, man? Happy New Year's, bro.
You too, brother. Chilling. I'm feeling great. Shit. Before since we already said the $. I told you I missed out on your latest project, and you know, I listen to that shit a few times a day, and like,
man,
bro, like the $. Song, you know, like I can relate to a lot of that shit, and like that was my favorite song by far, and I got this playlist called Shits I Fucks With, and I'm talking about like that shit I want to hear the rest of my life.
Man,
like I got everything from like Led Zeppelin to like Max B, fucking DJ Lazy K freestyles.
I'm honored to be a part of that list, man. I'm honored. That means the world to me, man.
Bro, I didn't hear 6 bars and I was touching the little button to add it to the playlist.
That's fire. That's what's up, man. That's all a blessing, man. That's with the
lyrics. I'm sorry that you had to go through them situations to be able to even make a song that authentic, but you put that shit like you put it profoundly but simply. You feel me?
Yeah, I you know, a lot of my music comes from like just seeing things and having experiences and going through things. You know what I mean? My deepest lyrics, I feel like, fully depict the things that I've felt or I've seen. And you know, when I made $, I was just kind of like, you know, the project is called Debt Instrument, so I was just like, yo, what's the lowest I felt in value or in worth about me, myself, or the people around me? Like, what's a low point? How do I start the rise in value? Where do I start from? And I just remember talking to my homies and seeing certain things that they was dealing with, and just talking about the mentality. And, you know, the lowest of our own value we can be is probably like, I don't even want to say like in jail. Like that's the low. We're back to almost being slaves again, right? Once you go to jail, like your work is worth pennies and cents. Your time is controlled by another, you know what I mean, by an organization. You're essentially worthless for the time that you got to do. And, you know, I'm about finding higher value in ourselves. So I started it out with my man, he facing 25 to 21. That sentence longer than his life. You say his life is done. At that moment, you kind of realize, damn, my life is a little bit more valuable than the consequences I'm about to pay for whatever actions that I took. And I kind of just started it from there. And, you know what I mean? It's been so common in where I'm from and in my neighborhood. I just kind of wanted to address it and then kind of talk about the growth beyond it, getting beyond it. You know what I mean? Even when I mentioned yo, you don't mind go get when you go in that living room? Go in that living room?
Yeah, it definitely do be happening like that. But you know, later on in the album, you explain what a debt instrument is, like in reference to a credit card and things of that nature. So for those who ain't had the pleasure of hearing the project yet, I thought that was really profound how you explain that, and like something that it could help one to know. So yeah. Could you go over that real quick?
Absolutely. Can you see me right now? Yeah. So that instrument, what I wanted to do is, you know, that instrument, I knew on face value, for those who've seen it, might just see debt and instruments. So you might see like money and music, which is cool. But I wanted to kind of also give people some financial like awareness and understanding that that instrument is a lot about knowing your worth. And it's my music is my debt instrument. And I trade that you got it? I trade that. Yo, I got a little bit of an important matter. Give me my bad, Mark. I gotta go get my personal item real quick. It's right in the lobby. Give me 2 seconds, bro.
You know, speaking of self-worth, after listening to your album, I went in today and considered my self-worth, and I came to the conclusion that since my children are good people, my marriage is relatively happy, and my younger self will be proud of me, that I'm relatively successful.
Yeah. Amen. That's how it is. And that's how you judge your success, man. Did you accomplish what you thought you would accomplish for yourself? Did you meet your goals? You know what I mean? Forget if you did what other people think you should do. Did you accomplish what you set out for yourself? And if you did, you're successful, man. Success is about just that. You know what I mean? And you know, when I was talking about that instrument and knowing your worth, and I'm using my music as that's my debt instrument. And I exchange my music for people's money or people's credit or people's worth and they trade what they deem valuable for my gift to be entertained by me or to consume my music. So everything we do in the form of art or in the form of just selling something that's ours is a debt instrument. The things that we value and willing to exchange is a debt instrument. So you know, I decided to call my project that. I say a lot of don't forget the dollar sign so much. And I really mean it in a means of financial awareness. Don't know your worth. Don't forget to get your profit. Don't forget to get yours. You know what I mean? That's really what I mean by don't forget the dollar sign. It wasn't meant to be like cash money cliche or, you know, extra rich. I got more money than you cliche. It was more about don't forget to get the profit. It's yours. It's yours for the taking.
Pay attention to your finances. Yeah, I mean, bro, like I wasn't even about to go down this path, but you know, not the hood, poor people in general could do with financial literacy. It's a reason they don't teach that shit in school. It ain't no accident.
Yeah, correct, 110%. So you know, a great crash course in learning this is in the music industry because you determine your value, you determine your worth, and the sooner and the faster and the more efficiently you learn that and apply it to yourself, the more successful you can be in a monetary way.
But you know, not just monetarily, you know, some of the most valuable things in life are experiences. And you, my friend, have had you know, quite a number of epic experiences, including one recently. But before we get to that, I'm curious, do you think you had a better freestyle on the Funk Flex show, on the sway in the morning when you was in studio, or the bars on I-95?
Damn, I ain't never been asked that question. Do I think? All right, so I was more hungry in Sway in the morning because that was my first time. I was more prepared for Flex because I had done so many freestyle platforms beforehand. I was more Bars on I-95 was more of a like Bars on I-95 and Sway in the morning was similar because I had to rap along with other people. So I was in more of a competitive space. I think that none of them really are better than each other. I just think they all just speak to different parts of my growth as an artist. I think I probably had, I don't know, I'm gonna go with Flex. I'm gonna say my Flex one is my best one though. The people seem to say show my best one is a Flex one. But they all have a special moment for me. You know what I mean? Even the I-95 Bars on I-95, that was after Fred passed away. So like I talked to Fred while making that verse. I remember rapping that verse for Fred. So that's special to me. You know what I mean? Shit, I was with Fred after I did the Flex interview, but he ain't really know what I ain't really, you know what I mean? I didn't connect with him like I did before Bars on I-95. And when he passed away, I felt so like compelled to come in that I felt like paid homage to him. So that's really special to me. You know what I mean? So but I really like my Flex. My Flex experience was I don't even talk much about that experience. That experience was unique in itself. Just who I had to rap with the same time I was there, other stuff that was going on that day made that a real unique moment. But I think I personally would choose my bad. I'm gonna cut my phone calls off. I get phone.
Yeah, it's making your jump freeze up.
Going on that day. It was a lot that took into that day happening. Flex, out of all of them, I probably used to hit up the most about being on his show and being on this platform. And he hit me like, you know, in the time that he felt, you know, he kept me on his radar. And then when things was working for me, he hit me up, and he seen me working, and he saw enough, and he said, come pull up. So I just was prepared. And
who was there rapping that day?
Tyler, the Creator. So you seen that shit. Remember that freestyle where Tyler did all of that, so all that wild shit? I was there. I was right out the door looking at him, watching the freestyle go. I ended up doing my freestyle the same day as Tyler Creator. I'm talking about his album was the #1 album in the country at this time.
You like Tyler, the Creator?
I liked him after meeting him personally. You know what I mean? I always thought he could rap. I knew he could rap. You know what I mean? He would have, regardless of what he rapping about. That kid could freestyle. He could write. He could do whatever you want him to do to make music. I think that's amazing. But I didn't really take to him until I met him personally and got to see what his vibe was like. And I think he's pretty dope. He's also one of our entrepreneurs, like we talk about knowing your worth. He's one of the people that know his worth, and he knows how to use his worth to his benefit.
You know, I like when he first came out with that Our Future shit, where he had that little late night shit in that video where he hung himself. But you know,
Our Future was dope until it got real odd. But Our Future was always, to me, dope. Was impactful to the culture of hip hop and to music. You know what I mean? They with everything they represent created a whole lane and movement. So.
But my little son started listening to Tyler, the Creator, and became a big fan. So then, you know, I started hearing them Jones. So I was like, damn, this shit rock like a motherfucker. So behind me, I got every Tyler, the Creator vinyl. I fucks with Tyler, the Creator hard body.
That's the story. My Flex freestyle was the same day as his, same hour, same right, one after another. He came out, I went in.
Then on, you know, personally, I like the Sway one the best because Heather B ain't never lied. That shit sounded like a song when it was done. It reminded me of that time that Cameron had J.R. Ryder and Hell Rel on Flex, and basically they did like 4 songs. You know, we're gonna be the first to make song. You know, they had the Jones with the hooks and shit. But so like
that's why I said that was the one I was the most hungry in, because I just remember being in there and I just was ready to kind of like just show my ability. I mean, I had never met Nick Wiz before. Shabam Sadiq is my man now, but I had never met him before. I just knew Sway was putting me in a room and he wanted me to show up. So it was just my duty to do so. Shout out to my man Els, my man Laurent. He came with me that day. He was a good support system. Horse from Uchiwali. Actually, I don't know if they're still together, but I think they should be. Him and Heather B are together or were together. And he told me when he was driving up to the station, he was listening to it and he thought I was dead nice. So, you know, I don't even get to reflect on these moments like this, but that definitely happened. Horse from Uchiwali came in this radio and shook my hand and told me he fucked with my verse and everything. And he thought I was dead nice. That was a real good moment. Sway's a real good friend of mine, man. That's my man. You know what I mean? He's always been rooting in my corner and rooting for me and wanting to see me.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that, but I got no. So when you met Horse, did you hit him with the damn, bro? Why you kill your client on his own verse when you're supposed to be a bodyguard?
Nah, I keep it. You know, I got a lot of respect for his.
Nah, I'm just fucking with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Horse, but that's why we know Horse, because he had the most memorable verse on Uchiwali.
Yeah, so, down DC, we was loving Uchiwali. I remember they used to play that shit and dream like a motherfucker. But speaking about your relationship with Sway, before you hit your freestyle, he said he was there when you brought your daughter home from the hospital. So I'm curious about that, the story behind that.
I'm such an industry kid, man. Now that I think it, I just can't help it. You know what I mean?
I don't know who your dad is.
You don't know?
Nah,
to this day, right now?
I heard your music and I liked your music.
Yeah, that's how I like it to go though. You know what I mean? And I actually like.
Okay, because I heard you say on one of them freestyle something about it ain't because of my dad. So then I was like, damn, I wonder who his dad is. But then I was like, since I'm doing this interview, if I find out his dad's whoever, will it make me approach it differently? And I figured that'd be less than authentic.
Yeah. My pops is cool DJ Red Alert. And he's a hip hop pioneer. He's a great inspiration.
That's your on Drink Champs.
thus I'm on Drink Champs. Yes.
Got you.
My pops is cool, DJ Red Alert, and you know, he's been really pivotal in my growth as an artist. But our thing is kind of just letting me carve out my own path. You know what I mean? Not that I don't have a support. We never wanted to be. We never wanted it to be like, oh, he only got this because Red Alert's his. You know what I mean? Like in any other genre or not genre, any other like profession, we glorify the kids of successful parents and shit like that. But in like hip hop is kind of like, oh, you got to prove it. You know what I mean? Or you got to start from the bottom like everybody else. You got to do this. You got to do that. We can't just let this happen. And then there's some people that do pull out the red carpet for you and go, oh, you what? You got to come here. Come on. But in a lot of cases, it's been like a prove myself journey.
Do cats ever try to pass you music and shit?
Hmm?
Do cats ever try to pass you music and shit?
Shit, hell yeah. When I was in high school, I used to get all the
No. I'm talking about more like professional level cats. Cause like to me, that'd be kind of I don't know, like.
Well, I didn't put myself
I can say dishonorable, but I wouldn't do it.
Nah, yeah, I didn't really get that. I didn't put myself in that kind of way. It was more like young upcoming artists.
Yeah, but people always find out. You know, they gossip about everything. I mean, I know how to be in New York, bro. I spent much time up there.
Completely. So, back to the Sway thing. He ended up living in a building where the my child's mother lived, and when I was bringing my child home from the hospital, he happened to be coming in the building at the same time. We recognized, I didn't do a show yet, but we had recognized each other, obviously through knowing him through my pops and seeing him in several places. I've seen Sway so many times. We, you know, I was like, yeah, I just had a daughter. Her name is Journey. And, you know, he held on to that moment and we just stayed connected even more. You know what I mean? I used to invite him to play ball. I used to invite him to do just leisure things, not even about music all the time.
Damn, bro, you know, she might be the youngest citizen ever.
Huh?
You know how like he be calling people citizens that listen to his show?
Yeah.
And you be, yo, she might realize be the youngest citizen in history.
Yeah, she might. Yeah.
I mean, she probably is for real.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm not gonna lie. You're probably right. So that's why he always say he met to see my daughter when I brought her home. He kind of hung out with me for a little bit, talked to me just about being a father and stuff. He has a daughter, so you know he could resonate. And that's how our relationship grew.
That's ill. I want to ask you about the bars on I-95, John Doe. You said you lost my last job, or you said I lost my last job.
Lost my last job. Yeah, so I used to work for Mount Sinai Hospital. And you know, that was always like a safety net, working and rapping, but I wasn't putting 2 feet in because I always had the safety net of knowing I could go get a check and rap and shit like that. And then what happened is, right the same week, I was on a billboard. I was on a lot of billboards throughout the city. The contract's for the whole United States, so I don't know if it was anywhere else, but it was definitely in the city for AT&T. AT&T had a campaign called It's a 212 thing, where it was like an area code. They had an NBA commercial. They had a bunch of it. I was a part of that. I was a part of that campaign. I was an influencer for them. And I had billboards all through the city. And that same week, so like my boss, when she gets out the train to come to work, she saw me on all the billboards. That week they fired me.
Yes,
that week.
What a coinky thing, huh?
Right. So things just changed for my life. So that was like I said, a lot of my bars come from experience. You know what I mean? So
oh yeah, that's how I knew I could even ask you. I know that wasn't just some shit you put in. Like I got a feeling anything I asked you if I pulled it from your lyrics won't be just something you put in.
It has a story behind it. There's some sort of story behind it. Yeah. So you know, lost my last job and lose a sweat, but I made bills more. You know what I mean? And I feel like I invested in myself and I started seeing more money from my music and a lump sum than I was seeing from working 40 hours a week. And then I started saying, hey, wait a minute, if I can create some consistency out of this and make this build this up a little more, I don't need to go back to work, at least not working for somebody else. And in an entry level job or something like that, at least not that. So that's where that bar came from. That was all right before COVID. And I mean, it's a blessing. I used to work in a hospital, bro. So I lost my job 3 months before they started the COVID campaign.
Damn.
So we're talking 2019, 2019, August, October, somewhere in that, between August and October. So that shit was
Hella
that was
hella serendipitous.
yeah. So it allowed me not to kind of get down on myself. It allowed me to kind of really realize that I had a purpose to do music, and the more I was leaning, I wasn't mentally leaning on my safety net, but having a safety net was making me approach music without aggression and without purpose. You know what I mean? So
and here you are, like 2.5 years later, fresh off a Drink Champs appearance. What that was like?
Man, I loved Miami, man. It was a good time for me and my family to be together. I had my DJ out there. My brother Rob was also on the show. It was good to that was the first thing. Believe it or not, I kind of set up the Drink Champs situation. That's another low story. I'm the one that kind of set up the whole Drink Champs situation for my pops. And to me, I was honored to just be a part of doing something for him that I could say I did for him. You know what I mean? I made sure that day he didn't have to come out of his pocket. And he got his flowers in a great way. And I'm just so glad I was a part of granting him that type of acknowledgement and that type of notoriety and notability. You know what I mean? It just meant the world to see him happy, to see him tell his story on a big platform. You know what I mean? That meant the most to me. Whether I was going to be on it or not, I kind of knew I was, but I didn't really care. But then for us to interact and kind of we got to showcase the way I was with him on the shows, the way I am with him anytime I'm with him, and I ask him questions about hip hop or questions about history. That's just us. And it was a great look. And
what's a memorable story he's told you?
It's a lot. But I think the most memorable stories to me are the ones that have to do with the house. A lot of people, I live in the apartment. We own our place, the apartments and our houses and shit. So the apartment that used to have all of the people that used to be in the house, he still has that apartment. I live in that apartment. And that's my apartment. So what happens is the history of it means so much to me when you learn all the different people that came through that house, from Queen Latifah to Q-Tip, the Buster, to Mary J. Blige, to, De La's and Jungle Brothers and Fat Joe's and Pun, and to know all that history has come through that house. I walk the hallways and stay in the rooms, and these are the rooms that history was made in. The whole native tongue was kind of started in the house. So I live in a house where that culture was cultivated and groomed. So the stories about those stories last longest to me because it motivates me. It helps me to say, well, how am I going to leave my legacy in this place? When if somebody else lives in there after me, we sell it or something, and they hear the history, they go, oh yeah, and G Mim was in here. You know what I mean? I just want to be able to add my notch on the belt. And that's been the focus from there on. So those are the best stories, the home stories, the stories that let me know this was going on right here. You know where that bed, you see that bed you laying in? Right here used to be the microphone, or right here the room used to be like this, and used to be creeks, and such used to be right there. And Fat Joe used to come and check on your brother and go to school. And those little things mean the world to me. Those stories mean the most to me.
Man, I can imagine. That's dope as shit. Let me ask you this. Obviously, you couldn't speak for him, but if you had to guess, what do you think he would say if I asked him, speaking of native tongues and Queen Latifah and all that positivity and him being such a high profile radio DJ at the time, how much truth would he ascribe to the stories about a suppression of music of that nature while they're promoting gangster rap and shit that promotes promiscuity, drugs?
I mean, he would tell you that it's just it was a transition of eras too, right? Because he always calls it the grimy rap era. You know what I mean?
The grimy rap era. Yeah, that shit
It's
was
not, it
hella
wasn't meant
grimy.
to be. I'm sorry?
I said, yeah, shit was hella grimy. I loved
Yeah,
it.
it was grimy, you know what I mean? And that was the way that it went to. It's almost like drill now. Like some people don't like drill, but guess what? This is the journey that hip hop is taking. We got freedom of speech. We got too many things that allow for hip hop to go in these directions. And when it starts to go in these directions, we can't complain. You know what I mean? We know enough to know it's a cycle, and we'll come up with a new sound and we'll move on to the next thing.
Bro, I ain't
And
never seen that one direction hip hop's gone ever that I particularly disliked, to be honest with you.
yeah, I'm not a dislike of no direction. I just think that we all go through our cycles, and that's their era of music. You know what I mean? That's the era of music that we're in right now. So I don't know if for Red, if Native Tongues got suppressed because he was carving it out from the beginning. He is Native Tongue.
Right.
You know what I mean? Native Tongue is him. It got started because he was able to play it on a large platform.
Well, I mean, look at like Scenario in that era, right? That shit blew up. That shit blew up like a motherfucker. It was on the radio all the time, all over the country, right? Yeah. So then 2 albums later, you got an album that's almost entirely produced by J Dub that features a bunch of Consequence verses. And I don't remember that shit being on the radio hardly at all, but it's the same record company. So what the fuck happened?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I know you don't know, but like, I mean, you feel what I'm saying, right?
About Native Tongues because I understand my pop's prominence. You know what I mean? He was prominent when being a DJ had control. You know what I mean? Now being a DJ, even when Consequence came, the DJ didn't have control no more, really. It started changing. We had this thing called regular radio rotation. We had a bunch of things that happened before that. DJ, you know, these was good. Someone like my pops was. So when DJs lost that authority to choose what's hot and to say this is hot or this is not, what we listened to began to change too. What we were exposed to began to change too. And then I guess in that sense, it did get suppressed, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, that shit sucks. But like I said, you can't control hip hop. You can't not want it to have rules. And then when it goes out of, you know what I mean? You got to ask yourself what you want from hip hop. What's hip hop supposed to be? And if it's supposed to be a free form of expression in music, then you got to let those forms be free.
Man, I agree. I like learning shit. Like for instance, on Dead Instrument, you know, obviously I'm well aware of like Purple City as far as Shice Bubs and the Dipset, but I didn't realize Purple City was an actual place in Harlem.
Yeah, Purple City is East Harlem. So if you go on YouTube, it's a story called Hell Up in East Harlem. And you know, Purple City just came from like purple caps on the crack.
Got you. So they'd be around there looking for the purple tops or whatever.
It was purple tops, and I was Purple City because the olives, the towel. You know, that's kind of. I don't know if they do it, how popular that using a certain color was in other places, but in Harlem, where I'm from, in New York City, you know the So you still there? You look a little frozen.
Yeah, we good.
Yep. So yeah, you know, that's how that's where Purple City, you know, you got Purple City, you see Jim, Purple City Bird Gang, all that. He's just talking about East Harlem. It's just a area of Harlem and on 122nd. It's like 122nd Street area by Wagner Projects.
So speaking of Jim, in Harlem or amongst the Harlem rap community or both, is there like an acknowledgement of an increase in his lyricism?
Hell yeah, everybody love that Jim is so fucking, is like fine wine, like he's getting better with time. And Jim always was like every time I've been in the studio with Jim, I've never seen him write. I've never seen him take a long time. He don't really even need to write. You come up with that shit for like 4 or 5 bars at a time, and just he's always super nice to me. But it's people like Fred that he gives credit to who been an influence to Jim, and I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? Like I'm in the studio right now. I record out of the Heat Maker studio, which is why I'm fortunate to know Fred the way I do or the way I did, and Jim and Fat Joe. I knew them beforehand, but I really gained relationships with them as creatives. And that came from me just being a forward.
Yeah, that Fred Heatmakers project was just straight insane. That was a Gorilla Glue, right?
Project. Him and Fred, he has a project that he's gonna drop soon. That's up Fred. That's been done for a while. He's just waiting for the right situation and right timing to do it. But
hey, don't even respond to this, because you know who knows what deals you might have in the future. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jim Jones might end up being a better rapper at age 45 than Jay-Z is or was.
You know, I'm never gonna say this. I could talk about this. I'm never gonna, like, being better is relative. It's about if you relate to it. You know what I mean? I don't think you can get worse with rap. I think you can fall out the loop of how people are rapping. But I think age only brings wisdom, and it brings more in-depth perspective. So if you really aren't afraid to tap into yourself as an artist at that age, you might have some shit to say that people really enjoy hearing. And somebody like Jim has so much perspective on this street gangster rap that people do, that you should listen. You know what I mean? And he knows how to do it with style. And yeah, I do think the kids would go gravitate to Jim Jones right now, but I think everybody knows who Jay-Z is. It's almost like when Michael Jordan walks in a room, we know that's Michael Jordan. Like, you know what I mean? You might like Ja Morant and Luka Doncic and all that, but Michael Jordan just walked in a room, you know what I mean? So, and I'm sure, you know, there's probably somebody that can beat Michael Jordan one-on-one now. You know what I mean? Like,
so Jim Jones more like Chris Paul, like he getting better, like at 35, 36. 37.
Man, I'm in his Vino, man.
Because I see, you know, like I was gonna ask you about the basketball tat. You know, you was talking about basketball on the Sway Jones. So
yeah.
You used to. I might have asked you this the first time, but you used to hoop.
Yeah, I used to hoop. I used to hoop a lot. I was a part of a really good team in high school called FDA Lions. It was a really dope team. It was a team though. It was like no real stars, but we had solid players. Everybody went to college. Everybody had some sort of scholarship to some degree, to some percentage. I walked on D1 at Bonaventure. I didn't play a lot, but I walked on. I was good enough to make the team. And
shit, that's a Lang 10. That's respectable.
Yeah, I used basketball to get me get myself an education, and that's what it was about. You know what I mean? And
what you think of playing at George Washington?
What I think of what?
You played at George Washington, right?
No, I went to St. Bonaventure.
Right, but didn't y'all play George Washington?
Oh yeah, we played G-Dub. They came to they came to the building. They came to our school. When you a walk-on, you don't always travel. You know what I mean? You don't travel.
So you didn't get to go to Foggy
Bottom?
I
didn't go to G-Dub. Yeah, I only was in the home.
It's got you know, I'm from that area, and I balled a lot. And GW's just got like I ain't gonna say just a really nice gym. You know what I'm saying? It's memorable.
What team did Pops Metabansu play for?
GW.
GW, right? Yeah, I remember Pops Metabansu was one of the illest. Yo, his college career, his jumping ability was out this world.
He definitely played in the league at least 5 years, if not more.
Yeah, he went to Dallas. He got drafted by Dallas.
I know. I think he was on Portland for a minute too.
Portland also, yeah. So I have some dope. You know that kid Chris Matthews, Locked In, Lethal Shooter.
Nah.
It's a guy. Oh, you don't be on the gram, but it's a guy named Lethal Shooter. He went to Bonaventure. He's pretty popular. He's like an NBA shooting coach now, and he went to Bonaventure when I was going to Bonaventure.
I'll check it out. I mean, I know like Drew Hamlin and shit. Like I follow these cats when I see them. I love seeing drills. Yeah. Cause you know I grew up doing like the motherfucking Pistol Pete drills from the motherfucking like Christian movie and shit. Or like if you was lucky, you got a copy of the Magic Johnson tapes.
Or the Magic Johnson tapes, yeah. We had like a 5-star camp tape or something like that.
But you know, like coaches before that and one shit, when no coach teach you know dribbling drills about like how to go.
Yeah, you couldn't just look up dribbling drills online and shit like that.
I mean, not no jumps about, but behind your leg, they have you doing that like backing down full court, never balance.
Yeah. You got to do fundamentals about fundamentals. Yeah.
Word, no bullshit. Shit. I'm gonna finish with this before I ask you about what's coming next.
Okay.
You know that song lately with Axel Leon and I forgot what is it? It's bad.
Drama B2R.
Drama B2R. Yeah, and I remember
Yeah,
the
shout
2R
out to
part.
Philly.
Yeah, nah, he killed it. That's why I feel bad. But was that produced by Scram Jones?
Yeah, that was produced by Scram Jones. I had won like a competition one day, and it afforded me like beats from different dope producers. And I had known Scram Jones, so when I won, I just let him know that I picked one of his beats, and he just always kind of supported me from then. I've been around him multiple times. So
that shit had that
yeah.
that Saigon Scram Jones feel.
Crazy thing is, it was produced by Scram Jones, and I recorded it with the Heatmakers. So that's an experience in itself, because Austin has recorded me and mixed it for me, and made sure I sound good and everybody sound real good and everything. Shout out to Axel and Drama. They held me down. You know, the thing with that song for me is, like, I'm a Gemini, so I love Gemini artists, man. If you're a Gemini, you're an artist, man, I gotta tap into you to a certain degree and connect with you. You know what I mean? So Drama and Axel are both Geminis, and that was a dope collaboration to me. I really like that we did that record.
Oh yeah, nah, that should go hard as a motherfucker. Yeah,
that shit.
Axel Leon, shit, man,
he nice.
Yeah, he nice as a motherfucker.
Another one I met through Fred Da Godson, met through Austin and Fred. Like, I kind of had my own network outside of my pops when I kind of got with Austin, and they, you know what I mean? I kind of created my own network, and I had my own relationships with people, sort of like just with you, outside of knowing who my pops was. And
I mean, you got the skills to pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like, it don't matter if Michael Jordan, your father, no disrespect, but homeboy Marcus wasn't good enough to play in the NBA.
Right, I understand. Exactly.
You know, some, yeah. but Steph and Steph were.
Steph and Steph were, and it looked like Ronnie and Bryce might be.
Word, and if you got the skills to pay the bills, and then you can get it. Like sometimes that who's in your family might get you a little bit in the door, but it ain't
get a platform, but it ain't the end all be all.
It ain't gonna make nobody like bad shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I mean, I ain't never copped no ugly shit because Ralph Lauren's son bought it. I mean, made it. You know what I mean?
Made it. Yeah. Right. All right. That means that makes perfect sense.
But now let's finish with this. Drop your socials, and are you just gonna keep pushing Dead Instrument for a while, or are you working on something else?
I'm working on a project. I actually got 2 projects that's about done. One is more like a relationship kind of project, and the other one is an extension of That Instrument. That Instrument will be like a couple sequels, because like I said, everything that, and it's probably be a different title, but everything's kind of under that whole don't forget the $sign feel. So there'll be another That Instrument coming out, and there is a project I got coming out, like a relationship like project. I got some good news that's about to happen soon. I cannot say it yet for contractual purposes, but you know, it's some things that's definitely in store. I just did a record with my man Dave East. I got one with Joel Ortiz getting done. And yeah, man, stay in tune. It's a lot of good shit coming out, man. I'm prepared to really take it to another notch and take it to another level, and you know, leave a legacy for my kids to follow, and for other artists that look up to me to follow too. I've been doing a lot of like consulting with other artists and talking and sharing knowledge with people. One thing I think we don't do as artists is we get successful when it's like this big secret on how a person got there. Yeah. Possibly probably because people don't like to say that somebody helped them. A lot of people like to have that narrative, like I did it myself, I did it my way, but nobody's successful on their own. You know what I mean? And I want to just start changing the narrative and start sharing more information with my fellow peers and artists, because it's enough success for all of us. It's like air to breathe. You know what I mean? And
you know what Confucius say about that, right? About nobody's successful on their own, right?
What'd he say?
Even somebody built the king's bed.
Right. Even somebody built the king's bed. That's a bar. So I try to stay, you know, in tune with that. And you know, I got my men in this right now ready to lock in. I got artists coming. I'm just about to get some work done. You see the mic behind me. I'm in the booth talking to you. So you know, it's always something new in store. I'm gonna keep working and keep making sure I give you and everybody else good music to enjoy and add to their playlist.
Shit, that's what's up, brother. So let's finish with the socials.
Yes, if you want to follow me, Mims, don't forget the $. You already know it's cool. G Mims, cool with a K, KOOLGMIMS at on Instagram. It's the same thing on Facebook, and it's the same thing on Twitter. CoolGmim.com is under construction, but you know, check it out. On all platforms, is G Mims, GMIMS, G space MS. Word me up, shout me out, leave a comment, ask me whatever you want to ask me. Any inquiries, hit me up, and I'll be sure to hit back, and I definitely will tap in with you. You know what I mean, Mark? I'm super appreciative. If you haven't, check out those freestyles that me and Mark talked about, from me and Sway to me and Flex to me and Balls on I-95. I've been on K Slay. I've been on a lot of these platforms. You know what I mean? Google me, and you'll find it on YouTube. Definitely tap in with me, repost, leave a comment, show love. I love all of y'all at all times. And, you know, be the best you that you could be. That's the message I want to give to the people. Be the best you that you could be, man. Know your worth. Value yourself at the highest bidder. If you don't, who will? You know what I mean? And, you know, don't forget the $.
No doubt, bro. It's a perfect place to end it. Thank you for your time, man.
Thank you.
No doubt, bro. You take it light. Peace.
Peace.